Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My co-host, he's not with me today. It's just me, the alt monarchist. And so I just want to touch upon the whole issue with the Legion being overextended, and even if they win Hoover Dam, it will be really hard for them to go into California because they're so overextended and blah 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 blah, all this nonsense. Nonsense, that's what it is. Now, look at this map. Let's look at this map right here. So, we see all this red. You have Dogtown. You've got Tucson, Phoenix, Flagstaff. All of these towns right here. Who is controlling them? If you think that, so basically the whole issue is that people assume that what we see in the game is basically, one second guys, got a phone call. Yeah, sorry about that guys. So anyways, what you see in the game, so if you think that what you see in the game, if you think that's the entire Legion military, you're delusional. Nobody ever goes to war like that. It's just crazy. I don't understand how people just go off of this whole idea. Yeah, that's the whole Legion army. So who's protecting their backs? Who is watching their backs? It's just crazy. The Legion, just look at this map. Look at this map. The Legion controls all this territory. They are a government. So, if that was the whole Legion army, then who's protecting the citizens? Who's protecting all the trade caravans? Remember, all the trade caravans, they're safe in Legion territory. They say nobody robs them, nobody attacks them. The safest routes are always in Legion-controlled territory. So who's enforcing the law? Who's patrolling the roads? Who? If the entire Legion army is in the Mojave, they're right outside of New Vegas, and even if they win the second battle of Hoover Dam, they're overextended, and they're not going to make it to California. That's just so dumb. New Vegas and the Hoover Dam basically controls power. It controls the lights. Basically, it's the lifeline for New Vegas and for California. So if you control Hoover Dam, you have power in your hands right there. You have power to all the resources. And all the lights, all the electricity, all of that is Hoover Dam. You control that. So basically, if Ceasar was capturing New Vegas, he would have to capture Hoover Dam first. And once he captures New Vegas, he has a lot of finances in his hands. Also, a lot of recruits. Also, a lot of trade caravans that are currently in New Vegas. He has a lot of resources in his hands. His economy is going to grow. Also, he could have a lot more recruits now. And on top of that, the news will spread to both NCR and Legion territories. The soldiers in the Legion territory that are garrisoned in Tucson, Phoenix, Flagstaff, Denver, known as Dogtown. All of those soldiers, that would be a morale boost. But according to people who claim that the Legion is overextended, they don't understand that there are Legion soldiers all over the whole Legion territory. Imagine this. The the only military that we had when the United States invaded Iraq. Imagine the only military we had was all those soldiers that we sent. That's our entire military. Like, seriously, that's just dumb, right? That's a dumb statement to make. Like, that's not our entire military. We have soldiers and bases around the world. We're definitely not an empire. No, but seriously, we have military bases in every single state. On top of that, not just federal bases, we have National Guard bases. Some states even have their own actual state-run militias, not just National Guard, but state-run militias. And then we have, law enforcement. It just gets down to all that stuff. But like, if our entire army was that one army that went to invade Iraq in 2003, whoa, we would not last that long. So, and what I'm saying is that if you think that the Legion is just overextended, really, like the Legion, they literally recruit people and they incorporate them into their military. Also, I mentioned the new recruits, the Great Khans. Yeah, they're going to join the Legion, no question. And, if there's any questions asked, well, the leadership could, yeah. But the current leadership of the Great Khans, before you actually pick any sides, the current leadership, they're loyal to the Legion, to Ceasar. And yeah, they're definitely going to join the Legion. So you have new recruits there. The Fiends, sure, they'll get wiped out, by the way. So the Fiends are going to be gone. The Fiends are not going to be a menace. Like, whenever the Legion takes over, the Fiends, despite kind of being loosely allied with the Legion, the Fiends are a problem that needs to be dealt with. And they're gone. So there's no more crime basically being committed on the outskirts of New Vegas. So basically, the people who are living in North Vegas and West Vegas and Freeside don't have to worry about evil criminals harassing them on the streets all the time or outside in the outskirts of the city. The Emeritus, they get recruited into the Legion if whatever Emeritus survive. That's if any of them survive. But, they know how to run casino. They know how to run, some sort of finance. So, yeah, and plus they don't want to mess with Ceasar. So you have that part. But then you look at the bottom of the map. So here's also an alternative map that I want to show you guys. Right here. Look at this. So you got the Rocky Mountains, Great Basin. So look at all this red territory right here. Look at all this. You're telling me that what we see in the game, that army that we see in the game controls all of this red territory right here. All of this red territory is controlled by that one single army that we see in the game. You gotta be kidding me. No, like they have a lot more troops. They have other soldiers, just like the NCR. For some reason, like whenever people talk about Kaiser's Legion being overextended, they for some reason never kind of apply that to the NCR. They for some reason give the NCR a lot of grace. They kind of treat it like the U.S. military in a way, that only they are smart, only they understand logic and strategy. Yet for some reason, aside from winning the first battle of Hoover Dam, the NCR is currently losing the war. And if the NCR was really smart, right? Like if they're so smart and civilized, and Kaiser's Legion, let's just say they're really dumb, they don't have any soldiers protecting the rest of the Legion territory, why doesn't the NCR simply send some armies, some battalions, some regiments to the southern parts where they could easily take over Tucson, Phoenix, even Flagstaff? Because according to the people who claim that Kaiser's Legion, they're not really as powerful. Once they get to New Vegas, they can't go further because they're overextended. Just BS. Because here's the thing. Let me tell you something. Like, there will be some units that will be left behind to basically patrol and protect the Hoover Dam, and of course, to have law and order in New Vegas. At the same time, they could also recruit locals and, maybe force the locals to join. But then you also have, for example, like Malpace Leggett. He's come back with reinforcements from Denver, and I'm pretty sure Malpace Leggett wasn't dumb enough to take his entire force with him from Dogtown, from the east. So I'm pretty sure he and his forces left some contingent in the east, in Denver and other locations in the east. But Malpace Leggett, he's come back with reinforcements too. You think he just came back by himself? No, he most likely has reinforcements with him for the Second Battle of Hoover Dam, and eventually for New Vegas. But here's the thing with the Battle of New Vegas. Once the Hoover Dam is captured, like the morale of the NCR is just very low, and New Vegas gets captured. And what's interesting is that Ceasar's legion is so strong and so feared, and so feared that you have dialogue with the soldiers from the NCR in the game, and they're all just depressed. They're not hyped about this war. They just want to go home. You talk to Legion soldiers, they're super confident. They're basically so confident. They're so rude and they're so cocky, but they have a huge morale boost. And so I'm not going to get into the whole politics on who succeeds who, and what happens if Ceasar dies. But I'll just say this, that it doesn't matter if Ceasar dies. It's still a government. It's still a huge government, and this whole idea that, once Ceasar dies, dominoes fall apart. Historically, that rarely happens. If Vladimir Lenin, the first leader of communist Russia and other Soviet republics, and eventually the first leader of the Soviet Union, the founder of Soviet communism, when he died, there was no domino effect. The Soviet Union did not just fall apart because their leader died. No, there was a squabble, a quick political squabble, and Stalin defeated Trotsky in the political game. And there you go. So if Ceasar dies, there's no guarantee that the Legion will just fall apart. Well, Ulysses, he deserted. Okay, you have Ulysses, one guy who just kept, who basically did not like that some tribe was imitating, I think, his tribe. I forgot what his main reasoning as to why he left the Legion. But yeah, he's one guy who just got disenfranchised with the Legion, okay? But you don't see that in other legionnaires. And on top of that, Ceasar's Legion, it's too big of a machine to just fall apart like that so easily. If that were the case, then the New California Republic, it's pretty weak too. It's made up of different tribes too that are incorporated into the NCR, right? So yeah, just this dumb idea that Ceasar dies, the whole thing falls apart. Now, the war could end. The war could go differently if Ceasar dies. Okay, it could be good or bad for the Legion. That's a different story. But in the game, if Ceasar is alive in the game, that means he survived his disease, his ailment that he had. So he could still live much longer in the game. And yeah, so where else am I going with this? So regarding the rest of this map, and let's go back to the other map. Map number 1. Okay. So like a lot of people like they don't understand. I don't know, like, do they not understand how maps work? Like, okay, after New Vegas is captured, for example, hypothetically, let's just assume the Legionnaires, they capture New Vegas. They control all this area, right? Why do you guys assume that from New Vegas they'll just continue marching down, right? They probably would, but why is that the only place? From that point, Ceasar could give orders to the garrisons, and believe me, there's definitely some garrisons all over Caesar's legion territory, because there's no way, like I keep emphasizing, there's no way that the army that you see in the game is the only army. That's just ridiculous. For example, like if that were the case, then the whole army should just move together. Like no matter where it is, it just should always be together, right? Because, like for example, like Nelson. Like by the way, I like Nelson. Like they did not need a strong force. Nelson, the Caesar's legion was outnumbered 2-1. Yes, in the game we see what we see. We see like a few buildings and a few legionnaires. If the game was more realistic, the town of Nelson would be a little bit bigger, would have a bigger civilian population, and there would be a lot more legionnaires. But we see what we see in the game because video games have limitations. But outnumbered legionnaires took over an entire town. They were outnumbered 2-1. Professional NCR troops outnumbered a bunch of crazy, uncivilized legionnaires, and the legionnaires won while being outnumbered. And on top of that, the military base that's like not far from Nelson, they're in fear. They're in shock because they're afraid of what's going to happen. And depending on you know whose side you're on in the game, but like the soldiers at Camp Forlorn Hope, they're like shocked, like they're afraid, because it did not take much for the Legion to take over Nelson. So just imagine like how much easier it would have been for the Legionnaires if they had more troops, more soldiers. So if outnumbered Legionnaires are capable of inflicting a lot of damage, so just imagine what a huge Legion army could do when it's going to attack Hoover Dam and New Vegas. And here's the thing. Like I mentioned, you have the Great Khans who are attacking from behind. Malpace Legate, he's showed up. He's definitely showed up with reinforcements. So you have a lot of troops. You have a huge morale boost. And if you're playing for the Legion side, if the Legion wins, it's one of the reasons why they win is because they find some secret tunnels. So much for the Legion being these unwashed barbarians who just go into battle head on all the time, right? They don't understand strategy. They don't use guns. They use guns. They use guns. It's just like recruits, they have to prove themselves before they actually use an actual gun, a fire rifle, like a firearm. Sorry, I'm starting to sound like a dumb anti-gun lefty the way I'm talking right now. but seriously, you really think that like the Legion is not capable of being smart when it comes to battle? Come on. So in the game, like it's because the Legion finds a secret passageway to Hoover Dam, and that's one of the reasons why they win. Like they're able to just outmaneuver the NCR at Hoover Dam. during the Second Battle of Hoover Dam. And so, that's just the Battle of Hoover Dam, Battle of New Vegas. New Vegas gets captured. So that's all the morale stuff. That's all the morale boosters. Now let's look at the further plans. The Legion could then have orders to send troops that are garrisoned in these other southern regions to then go forward into Southern California. like I don't know why everyone focuses on the location of New Vegas. Now, it's also possible that after capturing the whole New Vegas strip and Jacobstown and whatever else is north of Jacobstown, like all that area, Boulder City, New Vegas, Jacobstown, all that could be secured by the Legion, and they could just hold a defensive position while attacking from the south. And like I said, that's not the only army that Ceasar has. He has a huge army. Like, he has lots of forces. He has multiple garrisons. There's no way that he controls all of this territory in red and he only has one army. Come on, don't be ridiculous. Ceasar has, just like the NCR, he has multiple military bases in his own country. And I'm pretty sure they'll be able to do invasions from the south. And so the NCR, they will be now facing an all-out war. So conquering New Vegas puts the NCR in a position where they will be in an all-out war with Ceasar's Legion. And so the NCR will then have to wonder, where did they attack from? Does the NCR attack New Vegas? Do they try to recapture it? Does the NCR try to go in from the south and try to distract Ceasar? Like, what is their plan? The NCR is going to have to start planning either a defense, an offense, or where do they do the defense? Where do they have the offense? And Ceasar will have these questions also. And maybe he could do both. He could do offense and defense of New Vegas. So, like a huge contingent of troops that could try to cross, across the Long 15, the I-15, and another contingent of troops could come in from the I-10. I used to live in Arizona for 14 years. The I-10 is somewhere like where Phoenix is, and just keeps going past Quartzsite into Ehrenberg, and then Blythe. Blythe is the other town. It's not on the map. I don't see it here. Maybe the other map has it. Let me see. I don't see it. It's got Yuma in Arizona, but I don't see Blythe. But here's Phoenix. And then, like, you just go, like, right here, like, go on the I-10. So they could just take the Great 10, I guess, the Long 10. And they could also attack from Yuma. And the Legion could attack from Yuma. They could attack, further into the Blythe area right here. And they could attack from New Vegas, while at the same time garrisoning some local troops, maybe even have the Great Khans patrol the outskirts. On top of that, the area right here, it says Blackfoot. So in this Blackfoot region, there's probably some troops garrisoned, and there's probably some troops here garrisoned in this Navajo region. They could use some troops there, combine them, and just have them march forward, and basically, as they march forward into Zion, they could recruit some whitelegs on the way and go forward across the Great Basin and attack into, like, NorCal right here. Like, there's, like, so many options for Ceasar. Once New Vegas is captured, there are so many options for Ceasar to basically start conquering California. And capturing New Vegas is a huge morale boost for for the for the Legion, and it's a demoralizer for the NCR. The NCR will be demoralized, but Caesar's Legion will receive a huge morale boost. And so my main point is that Caesar's Legion is not overextended. There's no way that Caesar controls all this territory with just one army that just constantly moves around everywhere. No, he has multiple troops garrisoned all over, just like any other form of government that exists on the planet. So, imagine the NCR. Imagine the NCR holding all that territory. Imagine the NCR is controlling all that territory, and their entire army is located in the New Vegas, Hoover Dam area. Seriously, are you because that's what you're saying. If you're assuming that Caesar just has that one army, then you're going to have to assume that the NCR has that one army too. And you're totally ignoring the southern borders right here. Seriously, a lot of you guys are just straight up ignorant and just illogical. No, the Legion, they're not overextended. They even if they lose that Battle of Hoover Dam, they'll just retreat. The fort is still technically part of the Legion territory, or so maybe they'll give up the fort. But basically they'll have to retreat because they'll probably lose a lot of men. So the second Battle of Hoover Dam, one issue is that they're probably going to use up as many men as possible, because they'll try to take the dam with how many casualties they can. But here's one thing to consider: Nipton, the Legionnaires used a surprise attack. They sent in spies to, kind of I forgot what happened. The spies that they had were pretending to be, playing card games with everyone else. They're pretending to be gamblers, right? And then when everyone got drunk, they eventually were able to signal for the Legion to come in and take it over. I totally forgot how how Nipton was conquered, but I believe it was because they had infiltrators in Nipton, and the infiltrators would then be able to give a signal to the Legion to come in and take over Nipton. So, and on top of that, let's not forget that what was that base? Fort McLaren, right? I forgot the name of that airport. But basically, the NCR has a Legion spy within them, like a Captain Reynolds. I forgot his name too. But they have a spy, like an officer's rank, right? They have a spy on the inside. And so if the spy is never exposed, right, and the second Battle of Hoover Dam is in favor of the Legion, yeah, the spy could literally help the Legion open the gates to New Vegas. And New Vegas could be easily conquered. So yeah, this whole idea that the Legion are a bunch of dumb, unwashed barbarians who don't know strategy, that's just ridiculous. But my main issue is that the Legion is not overextended, and they'll have no problem invading the New California Republic if they do it properly, if they have proper strategy on their side after New Vegas. And prior to New Vegas, we see that Caesar's Legion, they have the proper tactics, they have the proper strategy, they have positive morale, they have they're clever, they have intelligence, they have military intelligence, they have counterintelligence, they have all of these. And the NCR, they kind of have this, but they're not utilizing them correctly. And they're too bureaucratic about a lot of things. They have too much bureaucracy. They have too many corruption issues within their own ranks. And they're highly demoralized. And so imagine capturing Hoover Dam and New Vegas, and then the Legion just starts invading California. Believe me, the desertion rate, because a lot of NCR folks assume that after New Vegas is captured by the Legion, hypothetically speaking, of course, if New Vegas is captured by the Legion, and if the Legion marches forward into California, then the NCR will be able to just stop Ceasar right there. Ceasar will not have enough strength. Oh, that's only if he uses the same exact army and he just has like no garrison troops in New Vegas. He has no other troops from his territory that could show up as reinforcements. He could also bring in reinforcements, and he could also send other troops from Tucson and Phoenix, and from Malpais towards Blythe through Yuma, like towards San Diego. Like there's so many options for Ceasar. So Ceasar is not overextended. So Ceasar could definitely win this war with the NCR. Yeah, I think that basically covered it. Yeah, so Ceasar is not overextended. Even if he loses that second battle of Hoover Dam, he could just have to. He'll have to be on the defensive in his northwestern regions. But he could still figure out a way to invade NCR later on. And let's also consider the fact that the NCR, even if they win the second battle of Hoover Dam, it'll be a morale boost, but what's the cost, right? And also, will they have to fight against Mr. House? That's another question. But yeah, Ceasar could definitely win this war, and he's not overextended, and he has a good chance of winning this war. If Nelson's a good example, and Nipton's a good example, that that Legion, they could fight and defeat the NCR while being outnumbered. They could defeat the NCR through military intelligence. Also, when you just play the game and you see random NCR troops and random legionaries shooting at each other, most of the time, I believe that Legion guys usually win. So there you go. So currently the Legion is winning, and they have a chance to win. And like I said, that's not his entire army. Even if he loses that major battle that he's planning, he could always come back, or he could always rethink his strategy. So, yeah, or he could just be on defensive mode and just start focusing on who's going to be his heir. So, yeah, this whole idea that the Legion's going to fall apart, no, not anytime soon, and they're not overextended. They have troops everywhere. They have basically a lot of territory and resources under their control. Just look at these maps. This shows that Ceasar is capable of winning this war. And yeah, that's enough of me rambling. I just wanted to point this out. Ceasar could still win. Also, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Also, go to the links. We have the merch page, so buy yourself some merch. Also, if you just want to just donate, there's a link to Streamlabs, and go to Streamlabs and just send in your donation. Because, I'm trying to help my co-host have a living wage, and I can't do that if you guys are not supporting the channel. So, if my co-host is out there on the streets starving, it's because of you guys. Sorry. I'm just pointing that out there, just being honest. No, I'm kidding. But seriously, though, we need your support. So, yeah, just don't forget to check out those links to the merch store or to Streamlabs and just help support our channel. And you guys have a nice day.